What's up everyone, welcome to today's video, welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I don't really know where to start. The Gotham Knights reveal trailer for Nightwing, which was actually a character reveal trailer, was dropped at the Summer Games Fest. Now, this is one thing about expectations that we always have to be cautious of, because I'm certain a lot of people went in with expectations that they were probably going to be showing maybe some more gameplay. In fact, I went in, and let me speak for myself, thinking they were going to show maybe a little bit more polished gameplay just to exhibit how the mechanics worked, and potentially we were going to see a few more things surrounding Robin. But this is not necessarily where they decided to start. They wanted to go ahead and start with Nightwing. Now, to my surprise, after waiting for over an hour to see this thing at the Game Fest, because many of you know this particular trailer was sandwiched in between 1 zillion space-themed games, it was quite surprising that it was actually really short. But I have to say that I give it to the developers because they seem to be coming out with very clear language. In fact, the producer, Marty, before actually introducing this trailer, mentioned that this was going to be the first in a series of gameplay trailers that they wanted to do for their characters. So I think this is, in my opinion, something that's going to start to roll out a lot more exposure for the game. Now, deep down inside though, after seeing it, I had to go back and watch it over and over again, especially from the part that the introduction was given, because initially I kept saying, man, is that all we're gonna get? But if there's more that's supposedly coming down the road, then it's wise for me to make sure that I actually get everything in context before I make any kind of sweeping judgment on what we have so far. So in my opinion, the best thing is to analyze the little footage that we saw, maybe a little tidbit on some of the different mechanics that we had seen in the past and how they're probably being used here, and just talk about that for now, and potentially maybe put out a hypothesis that after this series, they most likely will have some other things that are pertaining to mechanics and some more substance, because that's what the community is actually pining for. My last few videos, we talked about demos. We talked about even the fact that if they can't put forward a demo, there's possibilities for people to still be able to try the game without risk. And I think some people kind of misunderstood that I was saying go ahead and refund the game or whatever it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you buy Gotham Knights or not. It's a game that I'm already willing to play. I've already known about the game for a long time, and I'm already settled in a sense as to how I'm going to interact with the game. My job is to continue conversations here with you guys and inform the community as to things that I may know or things that you may know and inform me about. So let's look into this trailer today and start dissecting a few things little by little. So having Nightwing show up really revealed to us something that I felt was very important in regard to the character. For combat, we got to see a lot of his own movements, the acrobatic nature, how he was able to chain combos in the gameplay reveal that was shown in May. But with today's reveal, we got to see a little bit more regarding traversal and movement. Now, this is really important because of all of the complaints surrounding Nightwing. I think maybe something that was actually less concerning than the size of his gluteus maximus was how he was gliding on that paraglider. Now, this is something that the developers said, in their opinion, they wanted something unique for the character. They went ahead and looked at the different paragliders and decided they were going to go with that version that was much more smaller and allowed for him to be more acrobatic. But something really important was in the way they put the trailer together. It seemed like that paraglider was a little faster. Like whenever you're landing, it seems like something you might be able to use to do some takedowns. I didn't necessarily see that in the trailer, but the velocity and the speed might be something that can assist you to be able to get into combat situations just like Batman when he's gliding. Now, another thing though is they showed him use a grapple. Now, to me, it appears that all the knights so far might have a grapple, except for Robin. We haven't really seen much of him, but he did a ledge takedown in the gameplay reveal with Batgirl, and so we know now that all of them use some kind of a grapple mechanic. As to what category and capacity they're able to use it is still unknown, but this seems to simplify everything. If you choose not to use the paraglider in the case of Nightwing, or in the case of Red Hood, you do not want to use the mystical leap, you can always use the grapple gun and it will resolve those problems for the most part. In fact, I had a very good buddy of mine say if he's playing multiplayer with somebody and he sees them use that mystical leap, he's going to log out of the game. So noted, if you have friends that are probably in that position that don't want to see the mystical leap, you can pretend that it doesn't exist, use your grapple gun and continue to move. Consequently, the developers had mentioned something that was regarding parkour in the game, and we got to actually see Nightwing actually traverse in that particular manner. This is very important because a lot of the movement was something people were kind of considering, like, okay, if he's got a paraglider, what is he going to be moving around some of the different structures like? I mean, we already saw both of them on a rooftop. If he had to traverse multiple rooftops, how is that going to look? And it seems to me that Nightwing is going to have a parkour movement system that's actually embedded within his character. That is if what we just saw in the trailer is representative of some aspects of the game. So this really does circle through all of the different questions that we were asking regarding the movement of the character and the way the character is going to traverse the world, and also it kind of intersecting with some of the things that the developers had presented at the Q&A in May. And just a few highlights before I close out the video, this particular showcase was able to still, in a very short time, touch on some cosmetics and some narrative aspects to the game. In one of the scenes, you get to see the way Nightwing is pretty much able to just transform with another outfit, another look, another costume, and I think this is something that might be satisfying to people who want to see skins and costumes in full display. Most of you know my biggest emphasis is usually in gameplay, combat, and mechanics, so to me, the skins don't necessarily mean too much, but I will say the one with the little man bun, some people have different reactions to it. I want to hear your own personal thoughts surrounding it. I actually thought it was pretty legit. I thought it was kind of cool. I don't know why. I would have thought in my mind, oh, this is something kind of cheesy, but again, the acrobatic nature of Nightwing, the way the costume is actually set up, I think they're probably going for some kind of a fit. We'll talk about that later on in a different video, but as to the plot line, they made sure to show us that Batman is dead. Oh boy. I mean, you got to see Nightwing standing and looking at Batman's grave, Bruce Wayne's grave, and saying, oh, it's okay, Bruce, I got this, something of that nature. But man, I am hoping that there's a huge twist to that particular story at the end of this game. So this is pretty much what I've been able to glean from this particular 1 minute reveal for Nightwing, more like a minute and a half, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think so far. Talk to me in the comments section. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully we'll talk very soon. Peace out.